Let's go.
To enjoy it.
No, I don't enjoy it.
You don't enjoy it?
No.
Of course you enjoy it.
It's a stupid tournament. There are some cases of like match fixing that are definitely true at the top level.
What's the strategy behind choosing to play so much classical chess before the candidates?
Okay, good question. I'm gonna say, by the way, hearing Fabi say Title Tuesday is a stupid tournament, it's a little bit sad. At the same time, I think that I would agree very slightly with Fabiano that I think it's a shame that Title Tuesday, which is a tournament which has very limited prize money overall, has somehow been tied into this whole bigger scheme of things for like qualifying for EWC and everything else. So like, while overall I think it's sad to hear Fabi say that he doesn't like the tournament, I think it is a bit of a shame that a tournament with very little money has now kind of become like the norm or the standard for people having to play Title Tuesday. So that is the one little bit where I agree with Fabi. Let's keep going. I'm going to put this at faster speed, by the way.
We're rolling. All right, Fabi. Welcome back, everybody, to another C-Squared podcast episode. We are together in St. Louis. You're becoming somewhat of a Title Tuesday warrior nowadays. I think you
have to be.
You were one of the very few that actually won a Title Tuesday, and on the same day you also played. Oh no, it was on the same week. You won a couple of Thursday something.
Mini Thursdays.
Mini Thursdays, yes.
I mean, I didn't really.
We're not gonna watch the whole thing, I don't think.
I think like the first kind of month that the Title Tuesday stuff had changed, I didn't play maybe a single time. But then I found out that maybe I can like qualify for the Esports World Cup.
Exactly.
And then be forced to choose two events.
So you're changing your tune a little bit on Title Tuesday, yeah? You're starting to
well, you have to play it. That's the problem.
No, I don't enjoy it.
You have to play it.
No, it's
come on. Of course you enjoy it.
It's a stupid tournament. But if there's a small goal to work towards, I'll go towards.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I just said 5 seconds ago about the whole thing, which is that basically Title Tuesday, because of the structure and how chess.com has basically turned it into the be-all, end-all for qualification to every tournament, everybody has to play the event. There's no choice. Even if Fabiano doesn't like the event, he has to try and play it. And I would say for me, considering that I've been playing Title Tuesday literally since the beginning in like 2014, I don't think I played the very first one, but having played so many Title Tuesdays since 2014, I definitely don't consider Title Tuesday to be a stupid tournament, but I do think that it's a little bit sad that all the chess.com tournaments, I shouldn't say all because there really are only 2 left. There's only Thursday and Tuesday. It feels like the chess.com tournaments have become something that were fun to something that have become incredibly serious, and it's the only event that chess.com runs online. Now, we could talk about like the economics of why chess.com is doing that specifically, but for me, as someone who enjoyed it, played it for so many years, I do find it to be a little bit disheartening, a little bit sad in terms of what has happened, for sure.
I like it. How do you like the Proctor so far?
It's incredibly laggy.
It is laggy.
Yeah.
It still is laggy.
Yeah, but it's gotten better.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, they probably did. It probably does help a lot with cheating.
Yeah.
I used to be unable to get past the first game in Title Tuesday. It was just impossible. I would score like under 50% against players, maybe close to 2,000 level. Now I usually get past it without any exception. So
now I'm going to tell you guys, speaking of this bit, having seen this, I did just notice there's a comment on this where someone literally just said that in the previous Title Tuesdays, the 11 Title Tuesdays that Fabiano played prior to Proctor, he scored 10.5 points out of 11. And in the 11 since using Proctor, he scored 10.5 out of 11. So this is one of the problems with chess players, is that it's very easy to internalize some bad losses to weaker players. Like suddenly that becomes like the overarching view of how you think things are going. But in reality, it's not the case. It's just not the case. And someone pointed that out in the comments. I did see this. So let's keep going.
We've made some progress, chess.com. You're able to stop the 2000s and 1800s.
It was rough, yeah, the first
Congratulations.
time. I might actually have to install the Proctor on my computer and play moving forward.
It depends. Like if it's on desktop, then my desktop manages it.
I mean, for people who are asking, I mean, I see Amimax saying he couldn't go past the first round, so it means they're cheaters. I mean, effectively, that's what Fabiano is saying. But as I just pointed out, because I saw a comment in this video below, there's a very specific comment that says Fabi scored 10.5 points out of 11 in the 11 Title Tuesdays prior to using Proctor, and then since Proctor, he scored the same thing, 10.5 points out of 11, one draw in the 11 events. So again, like, it's easy to say these things. It's easy to remember a couple of bad losses. Like, for example, with me, there are plenty of losses in like round 1 or round 2 that I'll remember. It's like, oh man, like it's just those losses just stay on your mind. But the reality is quite different.
Manages the Proctor fine without lag, but on laptop, it's
he's right about Proctor though. He's right about Proctor.
Like as a travel consideration for chess players, it's a normal thing to consider, right? You might be on the road playing a tournament. Sometimes people play a tournament, then they'll go and play this online stuff after their game. Then it's going to be a really serious issue. And I was talking to Nihal. He was saying that for him it's nearly unplayable because of lag and just.
That's a chase, Jim. Yes, okay.
Oh, I didn't see you there. You might be wondering, what am I doing here? Well,
oh no,
I'm getting my reps in.
Oh no, is this some ad? Let's skip ahead. Let's skip ahead. Let's skip ahead
At chessreps.com.
Let's go ahead.
Maybe he's been able to solve that issue, but we spoke pretty recently about it. But it got better. I mean, at the start of it, it was just unplayable.
Yeah,
I
true. Yes, very true. Very true.
Each move would take an extra 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But now it's manageable. It's still pretty laggy though.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm going to pick up the speed. 1.25 seems acceptable, so I'm going to go to 1.5. Let's see.
Some improvement as well, so I'm happy to see that. You mentioned EWC. How are you doing so far in the qualification rankings?
Not
I don't know.
well.
It's such a mess of a system.
Also,
it's so complicated.
yes.
Because it incorporates everything. All the Title Tuesdays, the Speechless Championship, and the Global Championship. It will count that as well. So I don't know, but I'm pretty high on the list, I guess.
Yeah.
Which could probably change massively because then I would have to check the points for like the Global Championship and so on. And it's a lot of different tournaments with different points and all thrown together into one big mess of a system.
Look, it's a mess, but it happens every week. I feel this is one thing that really helps chess kind of establish a presence on a weekly basis because, chess fans usually just go out and do their own thing and not care too much about chess in between big tournaments, but now they have something to care about. And I feel that definitely helps holding on to
it's
the
an entertaining
audience.
thing. I mean, if I were I am a chess fan, but if I were purely just watching chess, then yeah, I would enjoy
something nice.
Enjoy tuning in, in the morning or evening, depending on your time zone. But just a quick, 1.5 hour something.
My nose?
I don't really think we need.
My nose is fine. What are you talking about? I'm fine.
Like if you are a chess fan, then you have plenty to watch. Like I think tomorrow Prague Masters starts. Tomorrow St. Louis Masters starts. I'm playing that one. Aeroflot is starting. I saw that Faustino is playing that.
Yeah.
To try to get his last GM1 to try to break the GM title record. And then there's American Cup, and then there's obviously candidates, right? So there's plenty to watch. But Title Tuesday is a fun in between one.
Title Tuesday qualification to EWC. Let's start with that. Why don't we do that? We had some issues with EWC and the Grand Chess Tour. Sort of overlap.
I mean, in general, with Fabi's take on this, most of this I agree with in terms of what Fabi is saying. I mean, I think it is a shame that Title Tuesday. If you look at what Title Tuesday originally was, it was originally the premier entertaining online event for players to play and have fun, to play for a little bit of prize money. And it's become something completely different. And Fabi's absolutely right that it's a total mess of a system. Like, you have points counting from everywhere. Like chess.com, for example, has told me that like I'm almost certainly going to qualify, but I don't really know if I'm going to qualify or not. And then it's just such a mess that it's really kind of, you play and you hope and you see what happens if you don't get an automatic qualification.
Happening in terms of schedule, that was a huge problem. And the GCT is not going to move its schedule. They announced it first. And they've been holding on this tournament in August. I think it's overlapping with the Sinful Cup or the Grand Finals. I don't remember exactly which one. But they've been very, very consistently having this tournament in August. They're not moving it. EWC, it's not only chess is the problem, right? So the question is, how much do they care? Have you heard any updates on this? Any improvements, any communication between the two parties?
Well, it's, what you said is definitely correct, that the Grand Chess Tour is locked into their schedule. And I think they gave enough notice. We talked about that. So the question is, will the EWC, are they able to move? Will they be willing to move? Do they care enough to move? That's, still, I think there's a chance. And I hope so, because otherwise the Esports World Cup will lose a lot of players. So it will lose most of the best players in the world. In fact, that's the truth.
And here's where again, I'm gonna unfortunately have to disagree with Fabi. While on one hand he is correct in a sense, he is basing this off of pure rating, quote unquote. And The problem that I would say with this, and I mean, it's like a part of a much bigger thing that I could go off on a limb on, but I do not think that there is a massive difference between the best players in the world. Best players, by the way, not top one, because Magnus is just Magnus. He's insane. But I don't really think there's a massive difference between Fabiano and, say, number 15 in the world. I just don't. Or myself and number 15. Like, yes, on average, we're probably better players over the course of many tournaments, over the course of a year, etc. But in any situation, like a one-off game or playing a short tournament, I don't think you can honestly say that the gap is that wide. And it's the same reason when I talk about the candidates, I basically say, like, nobody's a favorite for this exact same reason. So while I understand he's trying to make the point that the best players in the world aren't playing, I actually don't. I actually would say that at the end of the day, and this is what I've said many times, I'll say it again, there's basically one player who matters. There's one player who matters, and to do the famous paraphrase of the George Orwell saying, from Animal Farm, some humans are more important than others, or are better than others. And that human, or that person, of course, is Magnus Carlsen. And Magnus Carlsen is going to be playing in the event. He is not playing the Grand Chess Tour, and he ultimately matters the most. I've also stated that I myself will be playing in the Esports World Cup. I will not be playing in the Grand Chess Tour either. I do believe Ali Reza will be playing in the Esports World Cup. And I don't. Some animals are more equal than others. Yeah, some animals are more equal than others. Yes. So yeah, it's more equal. Sorry, more equal. But some animals, or some humans are more equal than others, as the saying should go. And the reality is that at the end of the day, Esports World Cup, it's a very long event. There are many different games going. I'm also going to be frank that chess is just not that important in the bigger scheme of things. I know chess players want chess to be bigger, this, that, or the other thing, but chess just isn't really that big. And Ali Rez is going to be playing, Magnus is going to be playing, Lazar's going to be playing. I think I'm going to qualify most likely. Remains to be seen, but at the end of the day, Magnus is the one, and if Magnus had a conflict, maybe it would change. But Magnus is Magnus, and that's just sort of the reality of the situation. So if Fabi thinks they're going to move it, I'm under the impression they are not going to move it. I think that's kind of it's a foregone conclusion that they won't move it at this point, mostly because of the fact that they have to organize 40 different games. I feel that chess players conveniently forget that there are games like Fortnite or League of Legends that actually, you look at League of Legends or you look at COD, for example, with the majors, there are events that they have to play in too. So it's not all about chess. It's not all about chess at the end of the day. I think if it were solely about chess, maybe it would change, but it's not. So I think that's just the reality of the situations. I don't think either term is going to move. And I actually, as I said in my previous video, for which I got attacked, I think it will open up more opportunities. I think you'll see some players like a Sindarov, for example. Maybe he'll play in the Grand Chess, or maybe he'll play in the Esports World Cup. You'll see a player, maybe Sindarov's really close to top 10 now, but you'll see a player like, I don't know, Jordan Van Forest, who maybe will make the Esports World Cup, or maybe he'll play the Grand Chess Tour. You're going to see opportunities for players who are in that range between, I would say, 10 to 20, who will now be able to play an event, and I think that's very much a good thing objectively. I also would tell you guys separately. I know that certain people decide to go after me on the internet, but there are certain people behind the scenes who have actually supported my take on this. There are top players who have supported my take on this, and also people, as well in high places. So I think that this notion that like I'm the only person saying this or going against the grain, it's a little bit far from the truth, or it's a little bit off. Let's keep going.
Do you know for sure that that's going to be the choice of some top players? I know you will choose the Grand Chess Tour.
I don't know for sure. I can't speak to everyone's state of mind.
So I guess it's just speculation for the moment.
But no, it's a very, very educated guess.
Okay.
let's just say that. I can't speak to everyone, but the vast majority, or just everyone, will choose the Grand Chess Tour. That's the truth. And there are a few reasons for that. One is that it's already a prior commitment, and in general, it's good to honor your contracts. And the other thing is that there's just more money in the Grand Chess Tour. People can check the price.
See, and here's the thing. Here's the crux of the issue as well. Like when Fabiano says there's more money in the Grand Chess Tour, I'm just going to say straight up, there are two orgs that have a good chunk of money to support top players. Those orgs, of course, being Team Liquid and and Team Falcons. And I think beyond that, the deals that players are getting to compete in the Esports World Cup are substantially smaller overall. And so I think that the reality of the matter is that for some of those players, yes, if they have the choice, they'll play the Grand Chess Tour. But as I said, I 100% believe that Alireza Firouzja is going to play in the Esports World Cup. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be playing in it. And so, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. And also, I'm going to give you guys the other part that people are going to hate me for, but I have no problem saying it, which is that at the end of the day, the people who are going to be watching the Esports World Cup, they're not hardcore chess fans. The difference between, say, a player like Fabiano or like a Duda or a Sindarov or a Jordan Van Forest, they're not really going to be able to tell any kind of a difference. They're just going to be watching the games and be excited by it. That's what they're really going to be. That's what they're going to be focused on. And so, like, I think chess players, they have this. They think. I don't know. I don't know how to say this, but they tend to think that they're more important than they are. So like. I don't think it's great necessarily, but it is the reality. That's just the reality of the situation. Is that if you're not a hardcore chess fan who follows, every single day, which by the way, the vast majority of people do not follow every day. I believe that I do believe that that at the end of the day, you don't really care. You're going to know a couple of names. You're probably going to know Magnus' name. You're probably going to know my name. You're probably going to know Gukesh's name. You might know Hans Niemann's name. But you're not really going to know the names or be able to tell any kind of difference because you're a casual fan and you just want to watch the game. So I don't really... I think it's just chess players are overvaluing themselves and they're taking themselves a little bit too seriously.
But there's just more money there, significantly more. Because it's many different events.
It's a tour. Yeah.
It's a tour, and even the final alone is... If you get to the final.
If you get to the final, yes.
Right? Then if you get to the final four, basically the prizes are very similar to the Esports World Cup. Like the first prize, I think, is 150 compared to 200. But it's a smaller field, so you have a better chance.
You also don't have Magnus in the field.
Yeah, you also, obviously, that's we can be objective and say that, if you don't have Magnus in the field, it's going to raise everyone's chances. So, some people, I won't say who have said that some other people will definitely choose some certain tournaments, and I think that's definitely not true.
So do you think that if the top players give away...
basically, what I think Fabiano is saying here is he's trying to say that I'm wrong. I think he's referring to me specifically. I don't know who else he could be referring to, but I fully believe that Alireza is going to play the Esports World Cup. I do believe that with like near certainty. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my info is wrong. It's possible, but I do think that Alireza is going to play. I do believe that completely. Yeah, he is referring to me. That's my assumption of what he's saying. But at the end of the day, it comes back to what I said before. Like, I don't want to repeat myself again, but it comes back to the fact that that the players, like, they want to... Oh no, he's targeting you. He's not... Target's the wrong way to put it. He's just giving a general comment. I have no issue with that. What he's saying. But I do believe that Alireza is going to play. I do believe Alireza is going to play Esports World Cup. And if you look at the end of the day, assuming that I qualify, which I think I will, if I play, Alireza plays, Magnus plays, I don't know how to say this without making myself also sound like a little bit of an egomaniac, but we're the biggest names. We're the biggest names. Like, that's just reality. Life isn't always fair. That's just how it is. So yeah, I've got nothing more to say.
From the EWC, and then you get, let's say, the 2700s next in line into the EWC. Do you think that's going to be a detriment generally of chess?
Well, chess, no. It just weakens their event. Like, there's nothing.
But nobody cares.
The thing is,
but see, this is exactly the problem. Fabiano here, and this is what chess players. I've realized this because I'm no longer a chess player in the way that I once was. Like, I don't solely think about things from a chess perspective. In fact, most of the time I don't even think about it from a chess perspective at all. Like, generally I think about things from like what is best for a casual fan who's 500 and has watched like a Levy video or my video, or maybe tuned in once or twice to a stream and watch Title Tuesday. That is the vast majority of fans in chess. They could be from the US, they could be from India, wherever it might be, but that's the vast majority of fans. And so whenever I look at these issues and I think about them, that is the perspective or the lens through which I see everything. Is I look at it as like, if I'm the casual fan who knows nothing about chess, Am I going to pay attention to any of these things? Am I going to pay attention to how strong an event is? Absolutely not. How strong the event is, like trying to say that Fabiano is somehow going to make the event substantially stronger and a casual 500 player is going to be like, wow, it's amazing. That's just not the reality. That's just not what they pay attention to. They don't pay attention to those things at all. And so it's like thinking about having a tournament with the top 10 players in the world somehow equates more viewership or makes the event more hype. I don't think that's true at all. I don't believe that's true whatsoever. So we have a very strong differing of opinion on this topic. And I think that's kind of the I think that's kind of the reality is that like I look at it as I look at it from the lens of a 500 who doesn't play chess, follows me, watch a couple of videos, maybe once a day, maybe just watch here or there, maybe watch a stream here or there. But anybody who's 500, yes, as someone points out, if you're a 500 rated player in the world, who are you going to know? You are 100% going to know Magnus Carlsen's name. You're going to know his name 100%. If you know anything about chess, you're going to know the name Magnus Carlsen. Conversely, you're probably also going to know my name if you're from the West, and you're probably also going to know Gukesh's name as the current world champion, and you might know Hans Niemann's name as well, amongst players. And so, like, it's just like I just don't know what more to say. I really don't know what more to say about it. But that's just the difference between Levy. I didn't mention Levy specifically because Levy's not a top player. That's the only reason I didn't mention Levy's name. But you know, it's like when I saw this video of Faker. Faker said he started playing chess. Whose names does Faker know? I think Faker. He mentioned that he's a fan of mine. But I'm sure that Faker knows the name Magnus, of course, as well. But does not Fabi? Sorry, does Faker know any of the other names? Most likely he doesn't. He might know Gukesh's name, but he probably doesn't know any other names. So let's keep rolling.
It's not that it's an invitational Esports World Cup. It's a pure qualification where nobody's really favored to qualify. You can argue that the players who are invited to the Esports Championship are favored to qualify because they get some bonus points. But besides that, it's a very democratic process. Mm-hmm. Basically, anyone who has the time to play online has an equal shot. Mm-hmm. So it's good for different players to have different opportunities, but everyone has an opportunity in this event. Everyone, if they're good enough, if they perform well enough, will qualify. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is. So this is not about giving players more chances, right? That's the first thing. Now, if you have the tournament and it's going to be, for example, Magnus and Hikaru, who I think have stated, well, actually, I'm not entirely sure I shouldn't say that. I think Hikaru stated that he would choose Esports World Cup. I just assume Magnus would, but
he would. He's not playing in the GC, so
yeah,
he would.
So besides that, and then you have a bunch of very strong grandmasters, but perhaps not entirely top players. I mean, it'll still be a very interesting event. But it will miss out on the fact that you don't have some other top players who don't really have the choice, right? They have to choose another event that they're already locked into. That detracts from the Esports World Cup. Mm-hmm. Whatever anyone says, it does.
Yeah.
Now, does it detract from the Grand Chess Tour? Actually, not really.
I'm going to tell you guys. I'm just going to say like this is Fabi just thinking that chess is like the most important thing in the world when it's not. I mean, I'm just going to say it right up, like straight up. Like this is just Fabi thinking that chess is more important than it is in the reality. Like I'm going to be honest, the Esports World Cup is 40 different games. I mean, the more people are going to know names like Peterbot or Clicks or Mr. Savage, to name some Fortnite guys that I follow. I don't know if they're all going to qualify necessarily, but more people are going to know their names than like Fabi's name or even chess itself. Like I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And so like detracting from the Esports World Cup, like it's going to have absolutely no impact whatsoever on the Esports World Cup. Like, I mean, chess is just one game out of 40 games. You've got League of Legends, you're going to have Faker, the GOAT. You're going to have like Call of Duty, you're going to have Apex, you're going to have Fortnite. I mean, like you're gonna have all the mobile games too. Like I'm just gonna say, like Fabi's perspective is though chess is right up at the very top, and chess is like making or breaking the event. When chess is not going to make or break the event at all. It just is not going to. And I mean maybe that's just like maybe that's what happens when you spend your life in chess. Is you start thinking that it's like super important, but like it just isn't at the end of the day. It just isn't. So.
Because they're going to have the same field.
Yeah.
Right? So it's only Esports World Cup that's hurting themselves. Now the question is,
they're not hurting themselves.
They just don't care about about the event. They just want to put on an event that is palatable for the public.
I do feel like they care, just for the simple fact that I think chess was one of the highest viewing
It was in the middle
games in the last edition. I think it was number 4, number 5.
No,
Hopefully
it was
I'm
not that high.
super far off from that.
No, it was not that high. I believe chess, when all the numbers were tabulated in the Esports World Cup, I believe it was number 10 or 11. It was somewhere in the top half, but it was like 10 or 11. It was not 4 or 5. I'm almost certain on that because I saw actual stats, but it was not 4 or 5. Also, I would say separately as a note here, because again, when people look at viewership numbers and talk about these things, they're looking at the numbers as a combined total. It's not like, if one game had 5x the views, say the number one game, maybe it was League of Legends or maybe it was one of the mobile games, I don't know, had 5x the views as number 2, they might actually pay attention to that. But I think in general, they're looking at the collection of all the numbers, and it's not like, wow, it's amazing, that's amazing. It's like, okay, this game did well, that's good, but it's not like, okay, this game takes priority over everything else.
But I think it was quite well received.
I mean, it was a well-watched event, the final between Magnus and Alireza.
Yeah.
And you might have one of those players not playing, one of the last year's finalists. I don't know, does that seem like a good, that you have, I'm not saying that, I don't know what Alireza would choose if he were forced to choose.
Okay.
But is it a good thing that you have a finalist forced to choose and perhaps making the choice not to play the event? I don't know, doesn't sound great to me.
No, definitely an interesting episode developing in that regard.
But I will just add that there is a chance, I think, that the Esports World Cup will, I think there is a chance. I don't know what the odds are, maybe not super high, but I do think that there might be some room for maneuvering.
And that's an educated guess as well.
Somewhat educated guess.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Hopefully we'll get some clarification on that. But next in line, now we're in St. Louis. We just finished our second camp for the candidates and perhaps the last camp before the candidates. How are you feeling shape-wise? And are you happy with the work so far?
You asked me this last time.
Yes, I know.
I'm happy to work.
Yes.
And looking forward to the candidates.
You're playing 2 events between now and the candidates. St. Louis Masters starts tomorrow, immediately after the American Cup, and then, a little break before the candidates. But if you look at it, it is a very packed schedule leading up to this candidates. Maybe the most packed out of all the candidates in terms of playing classical chess.
Sure. I have a 2-week break from my last tournament. Yeah. Perhaps more, because I can't assume that I'll get to the final of the American Cup as a knockout, right? I could actually get knocked out before.
Right. Yes.
But if it goes the full length, then I'll have a 2-week break from game to game, which is plenty, I think. I mean, 2 weeks is a lot.
What's the strategy behind that, behind choosing to play so much classical chess before the candidates?
The thing is, classical chess in general is not so popular these days in some ways. So from the end of the US Championship in October, it was a long time ago, I didn't play any classical chess. I played many events. I mean, I played the clutch chess. I played the Global Chess League in India, in Mumbai. I played the World Rapid Blitz Championship. I played freestyle. And I also did play 2 Bundesliga games, which was, just the idea was to kind of reintegrate a little bit into classical chess, because I'm playing, I play freestyle in South Africa and in Germany. So I played 2 freestyle events, which is also not classical time control. So I played some Bundesliga just to reintegrate a little bit, feel how it is to actually sit down and have an hour and a half or 2 hours for the game, and have to kind of spend time on your decisions and manage your time a bit. And then, the idea is just to get a bit more classical feeling. Now, the St. Louis Masters, I didn't know the field. It ended up not being as strong as last year. Last time it was, I was playing, and a number of 2,700 or close to 2,700 players. Grigori was playing, Sam Sevian, Sam Shanklin, Ray Robson, and some other very strong players. Now it's not as strong of a field, but still it's good practice. I mean, everyone, I'll be playing Grandmasters from start to finish, basically. So I'm playing strong players, just not quite as strong as last time. And then the American Cup is a mixed event, because it's some classical, some blitz, some rapid, depending on. I mean, you could also play all classical if you win. If you win every match in classical, you could play a lot of rapid if you go to elimination bracket, and so on and so forth. But it's a mixed time control event.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that should be a fun one tomorrow. Let's stick with that one for just a second. St. Louis Masters. This is an open tournament. Players of your caliber generally don't go into open tournaments for the simple fact that it's very easy to start losing rating if you do poorly, even if you make draws against 26, 26, 50s.
Partially, not the only reason, but partially.
It's not easy to beat them, first of all.
No,
so
not even easy to beat 25, 50s.
Of course, nowadays everybody knows theory. Everybody's going to be very well prepared. What's the mentality going into this one?
Well, I don't really.
You won it.
It's just play chess.
Lost the last
just play
round.
chess and be sharp. That's
first
it.
with
you did share
Danchenko.
Yeah.
Losing the last round, just wasn't thinking very clearly.
Yeah.
I was just thinking I'm white, I should win, and of course this was. I should have been thinking, okay, just make a draw, you clinch first place, and then also you kind of clinch the FIDE circuit. What is going on in my head that I decided to play? And also I was super sick at the time, and what was I thinking? But there's a risk. Although I think there's a risk in all tournaments, and okay, if you're not willing to risk, then what are you doing?
I like it. And so this one, we're not going to have a broadcast, unfortunately, this year.
Wait, isn't there?
No, I don't think there's a broadcast.
I said that Yasser.
That's going to be live at the club. So they're going to be doing commentary directly at the club. If you're in St. Louis, obviously go check it out. But we're not going to have an official broadcast for this one, which is, unfortunate, given that I think this type of open events definitely have an audience behind them. And for me, as a chessman as well, they're very fun to watch.
It's a bit sad they're not doing But I understand.
It's that transition into the new club, the transition into a new studio. I do think that they will be announcing a new studio as well very soon. I hope I'm not giving out too much.
All right, let's skip ahead. So apparently there's another bit to cover at 28 minutes. So let's just get right there. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Okay, let's go here. Here we go.
He
One
won
more
those
bit.
when he had that huge meteoric uprise, right? Right now he's kind of around 2,700, back from like 2,730. I think maybe he's even lower than that.
I think he's a player who needs confidence, and if he has confidence, he can be dangerous. And if he doesn't have confidence, and I don't know if he has confidence at the moment.
Yeah, I'll go with Keimer to win it, but Notrebek and Hans closely behind. And I think Gukesh is going to make the podium, but I don't see him winning. That's my prediction. Cool. What else do we have, Fabi? Do we have anything else to? Oh, Gukesh, he did give an interesting interview. Maybe you can pull that on your phone, and perhaps I can get your reaction.
Gukesh interview?
Yes, with Chess Base India. He was asked about cheating and allegations of that nature. We already discussed this at the beginning of the show with the Proctor. That improved the situation online, and I do think he mentioned, or at least he was talking about over the board. I don't know exactly what he was talking about. Maybe we can.
This is a recent interview?
Yes, it's like yesterday.
Okay. Oh, I see. I would love to face Prague in the World Championship. This interview.
I think so.
This is a relatively.
It's a long one.
It's a 12-minute interview, so.
No, that's too long.
Yeah.
Let's go on Twitter.
Ah, this is a press conference.
Yes. He had a press conference.
I see. The Prague Masters press conference. Okay.
Let's go on Twitter and pull some clips, and get your reaction on that. You have Twitter? Are you a big fan of X?
No, I'm not. I'm not a big fan of social media. I think it's.
Okay. So actually, they're the stats. Actually, the stats for Esports World Cup, for anybody who's asking. I have this. Let me open this link. Here are the stats. Let me just save image. Actually, save this as a download. Okay, let me add an image. Let me go back to the video. Let me add an image because this is the easiest way to do it. Yeah, so I actually have the image. This is the right one. This is the right one. Let me pull this up. Yeah, so here we go. Here's the actual image of most watched sports in the most watched Esports World Cup 2025. The actual true list, as we see here, is let me open that image on my own computer because let me see. Open this up. So the actual spot, Chess was number 15. So Chess was number 15. Fabiano said that Chess was in the top 5 or thereabouts, which is, as we can see, factually wrong. And wrong by a big margin. Now, there's nothing wrong with Chess being number 15. Don't get me wrong. That's good. But Chess had 2.87 million views compared to MLB or this Major League Bang Bang, which of course is a mobile game. League of Legends at 18.1 million. But this kind of proves the point that I was saying before. Like, Chess did well. It's the first game. But Chess was nowhere near the top. I mean, let's be real. For Chess to be number 5, it would have had to have like 6x the views that it had. It would have had to have 6x the views. So that's not to say that it's not good that seeing Chess on this list, like it is a good thing. But Chess objectively was nothing special if we look at this list. Like, the viewership is nothing special compared to so many of these games. It's good that it's in it. Don't get me wrong, but let's not inflate it and pretend that Chess did better than it was. Magnus watched Major ML Bang Bang. Yeah, he watched ML Bang Bang as well. The price is wrong, Fabi. Yes, I mean this actually, here's just a flat out the proof of the numbers. I mean, I thought Chess was higher too. I thought Chess was like 10 or 11, but it was actually 15. It was middle of the pack. Just not anything particularly amazing, but I mean, it's still a good thing. But the main point is just that the facts are a little bit different than what Fabi is saying here. They're different. So let's get back to our video.
Some ways,
we do have to use it.
Okay, but I just think that. Okay, I see.
You found it, yeah?
I don't support the most.
Let's watch it.
Kramik's allegations.
Let's watch it. It's probably a short one.
Okay.
I mean, like, obviously, I'm against any kind of unfair play or unethical ethical play. I have never done that, and I really hope nobody does that. And it's a kind of problem that we have been seeing lately. But about Kramnik exactly, I think he is just what he has been doing is obviously I'm not supportive of that. But yeah, like many people the last couple of years have been very paranoid about cheating also. I think it's a bigger problem than it's people are making it a bigger problem than
it is. Okay.
And yeah, specifically about Kramnik's allegations, I don't support most of it, and I
No,
think
no, no.
there should be more harmony and peace in the chat.
For anybody who's asking, it might have been Christian who said it. Either Christian or Fabi did say 5 or 6. It was not a chatter. One of the two of them said that, for sure. Just to be clear. Let's keep going.
More harmony and peace in the chess world. Perhaps we've had some issues in the past, or perhaps we still have some cheating issues right now. What's in your mind? And perhaps let's move on to the over the board right now as well, and those type of allegations. What in your mind is that status, and what do you think of his statements?
Well, he's choosing his word very carefully. So he didn't say anything very controversial, obviously. Over the board cheating, yeah, it's not really talked about too often, right?
No.
Because usually the focus on the potential online cheating, which must be a bigger problem. I mean,
Yes,
it must be
100%.
Not in terms of the gravity, but in terms of the volume. It must be a bigger problem.
Agreed.
Because it's easier.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the level of cheating is over the board or online, but whatever it is, there must be more online because it's easier. So just logically, there has to be more. But the question is like, how much is there over the board? Because this is more serious, and in the sense that it has more gravity.
Yeah.
There's more money in over the board chess. There's more at stake. The ratings
Absolutely,
are more
yes.
important. We look at the FIDE ratings. You know, when there's a big over the board cheating scandal, then players get banned. They get kicked out of chess, and we see it rarely that a GM gets caught cheating over the board. Once every few years, and then that person basically is banned from chess, and sometimes comes back, or sometimes not at all. While online cheating is just swept under the rug. I mean, they find the person, they quietly make sure that nobody finds out basically who they are. For years, that's been the case. I don't think it's a good system, but maybe that's how they've tried to avoid potential legal action. That's also speculation on my part. I don't know why they would probably say that they did it because they don't want to damage careers. But honestly, if someone's cheating, then yeah, I mean, you kind of damage your own career.
There should be some repercussions.
So does it happen over the board? I mean, probably in some measure, but I don't know, because like I've personally never seen it happen in my own tournaments. I mean, I've heard of these stories, you know, Feller at the Olympiad and Shevchenko and so on, these kinds of things, and also non-GMs, right? We've all heard these stories, but I've never seen it in a tournament that I've played in firsthand, and I've never felt that a player was cheating as me.
I mean, I will say, like, I've actually, the funny thing is, I felt it firsthand. I felt it firsthand. It happened to me in a tournament many years ago. So I've actually felt it firsthand when you play an over the board game and this happens. But I generally, I think with Fabiano, I kind of agree with him a little bit here. I think this idea of not publicly saying stuff, unless it's for legal reasons, I really don't like it either. So this is one thing I do agree with him on. It just feels like it feels like the system isn't quite right. Like I really do feel like if you do cheat, you should be shamed and named and everything else. So I agree with him 100% on this topic, or not on topic, but on that specific point.
Sometimes the thought creeps into your head, and then you think about it and you're like, okay, I mean, how would they possibly do it? And we're right out here in the open. I don't see it happening, right? Of course, you hear stories about some like opens in the U.S. where players are going back and forth, and there's very few security measures. Maybe you keep your phone under the table or something.
Yeah,
right?
those,
like these kinds of,
I've heard of those, and I've seen those quite often actually.
Yeah, like I was a little bit surprised when I played the U.S. Masters.
It's so easy to cheat.
And the security there was security. I want to say in the Charlotte Chess Club tournament. So they had some security, but still, a lot of like the kind of normal things are like, if you have a phone, just place it under your chair.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a bit shocking. Like, okay, if I'm playing a tournament, I'm not coming, like my phone is staying in the hotel room, I'm not coming within 2 miles with my phone.
Of course.
So, and that's just how it's been for me for the last.
By the way, this was the same thing in Louisiana. It was really shocking me when I played in Louisiana or when I played in Iowa. Like a lot of people, basically what they do is they just take their phone and you put it on top of the table next to the board, and it's just like you turn it off, you put it on top of the table, and it's like it's a bit out there. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit out there, but you know, whatever.
15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So to see the other side of it is a bit shocking. So when you're talking about like open tournaments with hundreds or thousands sometimes of players, well, yeah, it's probably very hard to control these things. And
Exactly,
I'm sure
yes.
that sometimes things happen. But and sometimes you hear stories, right? It's like the most blatant things. Some U.S. Open and someone just like literally has their phone like this.
Yeah.
And then
you
eventually
get caught.
And then eventually someone's like, this looks a bit suspicious. What are you doing under your jacket? But they usually even last like sometimes
a few rounds for sure.
Even sometimes a few tournaments.
Yeah.
There's like. And the thing is, these U.S. Opens, they have category prizes that are very significant. Sometimes like 10 grand category prize, 20, I mean, like World Open or something. So there's definitely incentive. If you're a 1400 player, there's no way to make money in chess. There's only one way to win a category prize in the U.S. Open. And the best way to win a category prize, the most assured way, is to cheat. That's kind of the nature of it.
What about at the top level? Do you feel there needs to be more peace and harmony between the players? Do you feel there's some tensions between the players? In regards to cheating.
Clearly, we saw recently there was some tension.
In regards to
players,
cheating mostly.
I think certainly there has been, even sometimes publicly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, between like Kramnik and Topalov, like this was a very public case.
The big one, yeah.
There are definitely, I mean, I spoke about how when I went 7-0, that I eventually heard rumors that people thought I was cheating.
They were suspicious.
And definitely I've heard about other players as well over the board. I mean, there are some cases of like match fixing that are
This, by the way, is wild because I'm going to say like I never heard a peep in 2015 or whenever it was when Fabi went 7-0. I never heard a peep about people saying that Fabi was cheating, which also shows how problematic the whole situation is as it relates to rumors and suspicions about players. Because certain people hear about things, other people might not hear anything at all. So, like, you know, there's the very obvious Han situation, which is quite different. But as it relates to Fabiano, like, I was in the top 10 at that time, and I never heard a peep about Fabiano and cheating over the board in the Sinkfield Cup. I never heard a peep of that rumor whatsoever. And that's the problem. It's like certain people get certain information, other people get other information. It's like you end up in a situation where there's all this stuff being said behind the scenes, and nobody really knows what anybody actually even thinks or what's really going on.
True. At the top level. Match fixing has occurred. Cheating with like signaling or an engine definitely has been speculated upon. More recently, I don't think so. Not as much, at least.
You feel the trend is positive?
I don't think the trend is positive at all, actually.
I just heard more stories before, but the thing is also it depends on who you're talking to. If you talk to some people, then you probably get a different picture. But when I play a tournament, I rarely think about that someone could be cheating in the tournament, and it rarely crosses my mind.
Yeah. I think that's
or never crosses my mind.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, and
never crosses my mind.
Everything that's been happening. Cool, Fabi. I think we're done for today. Let's go get some breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, this overall, I thought this last part was pretty mild, nothing too crazy. I do generally agree with Gukesh's take, though. I think as it relates to online chess specifically, there are a lot of people who are very paranoid about what's going on. I don't really believe it, by the way. I think online chess there's almost no cheating. I think there's almost no cheating as it relates to the tournaments. If you talk about the random 500 or 1,000 or whatever on chess.com or Lead Chess, I think it definitely is there. But when you look at the actual tournaments, I don't really believe in it. And I think a great example of this is someone that I lost to recently, which was Denis Lazovic in the SEC. Like for many years, there were a lot of rumors about him. Like everybody, there were so many people who thought that he must be cheating because his rating's like 2,500 over or 2,550 over the board. Even though, of course, ignoring the fact that he's from Belarus, so he kind of got screwed over by the whole like the war and everything else. But like the thing is, he's someone I heard so many rumors about him, but as you see, when you get the chance to perform and then they perform, it's like you really have to reevaluate what actually are you think what actually is going on. And there are many such cases. There are many cases. Why does Danny push this narrative that cheating is rampant? Danny who? Danny Wrench? Danny, I don't know which Danny you mean. I don't think Danny does. But yes, I mean, Denis Lazovic to me is like one of the people where like, I don't think you saw people like directly saying it on like Twitter or other places, but there were so many people who thought he was cheating. So many people. And of course, he keeps proving it tournament after tournament after tournament. And then of course, you know, like I lost him recently in the SEC. And it's just like, it's a situation where it really doesn't serve a purpose. And that's why for myself personally, like I never actually like, if I think something's off, it's very easy. You go to chess.com, you hit report, and then you let chess.com look through it. Cause I really don't believe the top players at this point in time have any great perspective or understanding, about how it goes. So yeah, I mean, it's what it is. It's what it is. So that was actually that was a good video to cover. I enjoyed some of it. I mean, I think the EWC, the whole conflict, that part I didn't enjoy because I mean, like I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit older now. I have a kid, and so my perspective has changed, and also the fact that I'm not a professional player anymore. Did Fabi talk about my chess? Okay, let's watch that. 2110 apparently. Let's go to 2110. I didn't see that bit. 2110, you guys said? Okay, let's go.
There. We've been chatting with Levon a little bit about him.
Okay.
He considers him very similar to Hikaru in some respects. Do you see him similar to
Who is
Hikaru as
him?
well? The typical, American player?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess in some ways, but yeah. Okay, Hikaru when he was young is such a different player.
Wait, who are they talking about? Wait, let's go back.
Yeah, more or less out of college. He still is right now in college. We'll see if he's going to be next
They're
year.
talking about A Wonder?
Yeah, he's a guy that has been combining his college career, his academic career. He finished.
This is A Wonder Liang. A Wonder Liang, yeah.
And actually improving in chess, which is quite impressive. He's a very interesting type of player. We've been chatting with Levon a little bit about him, and he considers him very similar to Hikaru in some respects. Do you see him similar to Hikaru as well? The typical, American player?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess in some ways, but yeah. Okay, Hikaru when he was young is such a different player from Hikaru today.
Yeah.
Clearly. Hikaru when he was young was like a very, very fighting, you could say sometimes a bit careless, but very, very gifted, very dangerous, a bit raw. Now, of course, he's in his late 30s and he's been at the top level for since like 2010, 11. You know, so he's obviously a very different player from his young days. I wonder. I don't know. I don't have enough experience.
I think what I would say here is that actually there are a couple things. A Wonder from a certain perspective is very similar to me. A Wonder is similar from the standpoint that he went to college. A Wonder has had a very much had a love-hate relationship with chess over the years, and he also has had very little support. So in some ways, from just a general standpoint, A Wonder's life and how he's gotten to where he is extremely similar to mine. Like I also stopped playing chess and went to college. I didn't go for 4 years, but I did go. And so my general view is that as a person, I think A Wonder is extremely similar. The life that he's lived in chess is very, very similar to mine. And even now when I see A Wonder play, I do feel like he very much has a love-hate relationship with the game at times. But he has been doing very well, and he is slowly grinding, and his rating is climbing. So from a general standpoint, I think that it's a decent comparison. From a pure chess standpoint, it's very hard to judge. Very hard to judge. I will say that when I was younger, I used to play a lot of offbeat openings, just everything under the sun. And I do think that A Wonder does that a fair amount these days. So it's kind of similar. I don't know if it's like exactly the same, but I do understand the comparisons. And I think it's a very good comparison. If I were to think about comparisons to myself, I think it's a very good comparison. Because also when I think about A Wonder, he was only for a brief period considered to be like the top dog or the amazing guy who was going to be great. And surprisingly, I think a lot of people who weren't around when I was up and coming, I don't think they realized that while I was a prodigy, until I became a GM and close to US champion, which was like 2600 level, I was spoken about, but I wasn't spoken about like I was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Now, there are players who have been spoken about like they are going to be the second coming of Bobby Fischer. I'll give you a good example. When I was a bit younger, Ray Robson, everyone was talking about Ray Robson. He was gonna surpass everything that I had done. He was going to become like a world champion quality player, and that did end up happening. And A Wonder, I don't think there was a brief period when maybe he was spoken about like he was going to become like really amazing, but I don't think he was considered the top dog or like the most talented junior other than a very, very brief period in time. Kind of similar to me. Okay, I think that's it. But let's yeah, that is it, right? Or maybe there's more.
Very good player, very talented. But I've played him so few times, like here and there at the US Championship, and very often with the white pieces he does shut the game down, which I don't mind if I'm playing black against him. But it does mean that there's not much content in the game, and I can't really get much of a feeling for what he's good or not good at. So hard to say. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see his match against. He's going to play a top player, so it'll be interesting to see that match. I think he's playing Levon, and
he's playing Levon in the first round. Yeah.
And he did beat him in one US Championship, from what I remember.
Oh, by the way, fun fact. Maybe I'll just say it. I'm also going to be playing A Wonder Liang in a match, but hey, who's counting? So we'll see how it goes.
So I don't know. Maybe his score, maybe it's in his favor currently. Maybe Levon has also won, and but yeah, they also I'm sure haven't played very much. Like I think I played a Wonder in like 2019 first time maybe when he was very young, US Championship. Then obviously COVID years not at all, and then 2 times in the US Championship recently, very few games.
And their styles are somewhat well matched, I feel, and somewhat similar as well. You're playing Mishra. You've faced him before. Did you face him last year?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good spot to stop. So, all right, you guys, that was actually fun to cover. I enjoyed covering this video. I mean, I think in general, like I would just say for chess players, it's very important, they always like to say, there's a saying with like major sports, which is always play within yourself. I think chess players, it would behoove them to really understand what chess is currently and where you want it to go, and not overestimate what chess is. I think it's very important to keep that in mind. Because I think in general, I feel like a lot of top players, they really do overestimate the importance of chess and the role it plays in the world, or like in EWC or these sorts of things. So that's the only really like big critique I have. But overall, I thought it was a fairly chill video.